If you have £10,000 today and you're wondering where or how to invest it, then this video is for you. Before I tell you where I would invest it, I need to say something that most finance videos completely ignore. There isn't one best investment. The right investment depends on two things: when you will need your money back and how much risk you can comfortably take. If you're saving, for example, for a house deposit in the next 2 years, your strategy should be completely different from someone investing for retirement 30 years from now. Also, it is easy to say you're comfortable with risk when markets are generally going up. It is much harder when your £10,000 suddenly becomes £7,000 during a market crash. So, as I go through those 5 options, I'm also going to tell you the level of risks involved and who each investment is best, suited for. If I were investing £10,000 today, this is how I would think about it. The first place I would pull my money, or the first place I would invest, is my financial foundation. I would allocate 20% or £2,000 here. This might sound a bit strange because it's really not an investment when you talk about financial foundation, in the traditional sense of things, but hear me out. Before you think about growing wealth, you have to protect it. Do you have an emergency fund? If your answer is no, that's where part of your money should go. Are you carrying expensive credit card debt? Paying off a credit card that is charging you, say, 20% or 25% interest is like getting a guaranteed 20 to 25% return on your money. Not many investments can promise you that. Even S&P 500 historically has returned on the average 8% annually. So the return on this first investment, which I call your financial foundation, is not very exciting, but the peace of mind that it brings is priceless. This option is best for anyone who doesn't yet have 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved or who is paying high interest debt. The second place I would invest is a global index fund, or ETF. And this would receive the biggest allocation out of the entire £10,000. I would probably put 40%, which is £4,000 into this. And the reason it is taking a big percentage is because that's the core of long-term wealth. A global ETF allows you to own hundreds or even thousands of companies across the world. If one company within that basket struggles, others can pick up the slack. Historically, you see, diversified global stock markets have produced strong long-term returns for patient investors. And I always say past performance never guarantees future results. The risk level here is medium. The value will go up and down, and sometimes dramatically, really, in the short term. But if your time horizon is 10 years or longer, then this is one of the simplest and most effective ways to build wealth. For Muslims, there are also excellent halal ETFs and Sharia compliant index funds available. I have a video where I shared some of this, and I'll link it here for you to see. The third investment is individual stocks. I would allocate about £2,000 here. This is where you invest in companies you genuinely believe also that they will outperform the market. This could be a business with a very strong competitive advantage, excellent leadership, consistent profits, The upside is obvious. A great company would significantly outperform an index fund. The downside is also real. A single company can lose half of its value if things go wrong. Talk about the Nokia, the BlackBerry. And this is why I wouldn't put all my £10,000 into individual stocks. The risk level here is between medium and high. And this is best for people who enjoy researching businesses and they are prepared to hold them through market ups and downs. If you don't have the time or the interest to analyze companies, you're probably just better off putting your money in global index fund. So the fourth investment is gold. I would allocate 10%, which is £1,000, into this. I don't buy gold because I think it will make me rich. Aside the fact that I love to wear them, I buy gold because I don't know what the future holds and I need something to preserve my money. And gold has survived wars, inflation, financial crisis, currency weakness for thousands of years. And that's one reason why central banks around the world continue to hold and buy gold as part of their reserves. So I think of gold as financial insurance, and the risk level here is low. I should mention that gold isn't designed to produce the highest returns. It is a diversifier in your investment portfolio. It continues to preserve value. The fifth and the final investment is cryptocurrency. And I would allocate no more than 2% here. £200, yes. I have friends who will do 10%, but no, not me. And now let me be very clear. Crypto is the highest risk investment on this list. Could it double over the next few years? Yes. Could it also fall by about 60 to 70%? Absolutely. And that's why I treat crypto as speculation rather than foundation of a portfolio. If this £10,000 is the only money you've managed to save, I personally wouldn't put half of it into crypto. Probably I wouldn't even put anything, because some people do that with the hope that they would get rich overnight. It doesn't work that way. You should only invest here money that you can afford to lose, and never let all the speculative investment like crypto, become the biggest part of your portfolio. Now you might notice that these percentages won't be right for everyone. Someone who needs their money in 2 years, for example, shouldn't invest like someone who wouldn't touch it for the next 30 years. Someone with no emergency fund shouldn't invest like someone who already has £100,000 invested. And that's why the best investment isn't the one that gets the most views on YouTube, for example. It's the one that matches your own personal goals, your own time horizon, and your risk tolerance. One thing I have learned over the years is that people spend so much time, asking, what's the best investment? Where should I put my money? But they don't ask, what's the investment? What's the best investment for my own personal, situation? And that's the question that you should be asking. And this is primarily because investing isn't about finding the perfect assets. It's about building a portfolio that you can stick with through good market times, bad markets, recessions, booms, and everything in between. You do that consistently for the next 10 or 20 years, and you'll probably outperform the person who is constantly chasing the next investment, the next hot investment. There is a question I get asked sometimes, Debola, what happens to this investment I am making when I die? Okay, I did a video on this and I have it on the screen now. I think it's a good one to watch next, and I'll see you there.